Okay, good morning to all students. Yes, how are you? Yes, I'm thinking that you have studied much more about the fundamental unit of life. We have studied the first thing that we have studied in your 9th class, in our biology class. Okay, so I think the chapter is very good, and I think after all that we have completed the chapter. Tissues, and after all that we are getting ready to get into the next chapter. I know that you are getting ready to the next chapter, so that's why I have here to say something about, or I am here to revise about the previous chapter, the fundamental unit of life. Okay, fundamental unit of life. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, fundamental unit of life revision. Okay, so we have studied about something about fundamental of lives in the previous section. I know that we have studied. So as we started the chapter, we have said that while examining a thin slice of cork, Robert Cook saw that the cork resembles the structure of a honeycomb. Okay, that's the first thing that he has studied. He see the structure of a honeycomb consisting of many little compartments. So, cork is a substance which comes from the bark of a tree. So, this was in the year 1665 it is happening. And after that, Hooke made the chance observation through a self-designed microscope. After that, Robert Hooke called the boxes as cells. Okay, so the person who called that honeycomb-like structure is honeycomb-like structure is by Robert Hooke. Okay, so the cell is a Latin word for what we are saying. It is a mean how little room. Okay, cell means Latin word which means little room. Okay, its meaning is little room. Okay, so that's why by the Robert Hooke one. And after all that, what we say that Mechnikov, yeah, after all that Mechnikov, who found out the microscope, is give the importance of sectioning and getting the structures of each cells, and after that using that microscope all of them found out the different things or different types of cells. Okay, and after all that when years goes on, compound microscope found out. Okay, compound microscope found out, and the compound microscope contains a compound microscope which contains what we say eyepiece, coarse adjustment, fine adjustment, arm, objective lens, stage, then mirror, base, clip, microscope slide, condenser. Okay, and also swivel. Okay, spiral. These all are the structures of the compound microscope. So these all are the structure of a compound microscope. Okay, these all are the structures of a compound microscope. Okay, I think you have clear view of the board. Okay, is it okay for you? Don't know whether it is correct or not. Okay, that's why I'm asking. I think it's correct, so I'll write here itself. So as we said, what is happening, so it will have like eyepiece, course adjustment, body tube, fine adjustment, arm, objective lens, stage, swivel, mirror, base, and condenser, microscope slide, and clip. Okay, after all that, we have it into the structure of a cell, and after we can say that we taken a structure, we have taken an onion peel, and after that we check the structure of a cell. Okay, and then from that we have found that it is structure like like this structures, isn't it? Like this structures we have found out. Okay, this is the structure of a cell which we see in an onion peel. After all that, we have said that it is known as the building units of anything. Okay, if we are checking about anything, for everything there is a building unit. So in case of a human, in case of a person, in case of someone that we know or someone that we see, organisms, plants, the microorganisms, anything. Okay, the building unit is their cells. Okay, so not only onions but all organisms have it. Okay, this have the cells. Okay. And yes, and after all that we have said that it's a cell, or it is known as a cell. We have think about, yes, how this cell is made up of. This is what all things are used for the making of this cells. So when we think about like that, we have seen that there are different things that are present in the cell, that are plasma membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm. Okay, mainly a plasma membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. So we have studied about, after that we have studied about the plasma membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus. Okay, plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. So what we have said about the plasma membrane, first one is the plasma membrane. What we have said about plasma membrane? Plasma membrane is also known as cell membrane, and that is the outermost covering of the cell. Okay, that is the outermost covering of the cell that separates the contents of the cell from its external environment. Okay, so this is the outermost covering of the cell which separates the contents of the cell from its external environment. Okay, this is the outermost covering of the cell that separates the contents of the cell from the external environment. And as after all that, we have said that the plasma membrane allows, and the plasma membrane is the one who permits the transfer of materials, or transfer of some materials in and out of the cell. Okay, entry and exit of the substances in the inside the cell is done by, the permission is given by the plasma membrane. Okay, so it also prevents movement of some other materials. So the cell membrane therefore is called a selectively permeable membrane. Okay, so when we say about plasma membrane, as we say that it is semi-permeable membrane, or what we say that it's a semi-permeable membrane. And yes, when we saying about the transport of materials, we want to say about the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So when we are saying about in the case of plants, when we saying about plants, we have now that it will take the carbon dioxide and it will give out carbon dioxide. It will take carbon dioxide and it will give out oxygen. So what is taking, so how it is taking place, how this is taking place, we know that is the concentration of the carbon dioxide and concentration of oxygen is not same. The concentration will be different in case of external environment and in case of internal environment. So how it is the process of taking and exiting of the things are taking place. Okay, this is taken place by using diffusion. Okay, what we know as diffusion, what we call it as diffusion. Okay, what we call it as diffusion. Okay, what we call it as a diffusion. Okay, so what is happening here in case of if it needs carbon dioxide and oxygen, what is happening? It will take place the diffusion. That means it transport the carbon dioxide and oxygen from the external environment to the internal environment, or from the internal environment to the external environment by using a semi-permeable. That means a difference of concentration. Okay, it will help in difference of concentration. That means what is happening if there is the concentration of the carbon dioxide is low inside the plant cell, and if it is increasing the oxygen, the diffusion will help in the maintaining of the carbon dioxide and oxygen in the internal and external environment. Okay, internal and the external. So according to diffusion, it is taking place, the transport of materials inside and outside is taking place. Okay, so the movement is taking place like that, and after all that we get into the cell wall. Cell wall, yes, plasma membrane, and after all that we get into cell wall. Okay, cell wall. What is a cell wall? Cell wall is a portion which we have seen in addition to the plasma membrane. That is a rigid outer covering. Okay, when we are saying about plasma membrane, in addition to the plasma membrane, they have another rigid outer covering called the cell wall. Okay, so the cell wall lies outside the plasma membrane. Okay, the cell wall lies outside the plasma membrane. Okay, the cell wall lies outside the plasma membrane. So the plant cell wall is mainly composed of cellulose. Okay, so the plant cell wall is mainly composed of cellulose, and cellulose is a complex substance and provides structural strength to the plants. Okay, so the plant cell wall is mainly composed of cellulose, and the cellulose is giving the structural strength for the structural strength for the plants. Okay, so when a living plant cell flows water through osmosis, there is a shrinkage or contraction of the contents of the cell away from the cell. So the phenomenon is known as plasmolysis. So according to the plasmolysis, the cell loses water. Okay, cell loses water through osmosis. So there is a shrinkage or contraction of the contents of the cell away from the cell wall. Okay, so the phenomenon is known as plasmolysis. Okay. And what all are the functions of the cell wall? So cell wall will permit, okay, the cell wall will permit cells of plants, fungi and bacteria to withstand very dilute. Means what we say it is a hypertonic, means high saturation or high salt concentration. So it will helps to withstand a very high salt conditions or hypertonic external media without bursting. Okay, so it will tend to take water, and so the osmosis will helps them to take the water from the surroundings. The cell swells, building up pressure against the cell wall. So wall accepts an equal pressure. Okay, at the time of osmosis, what will happen? There will be the cell will swells and will exert a pressure inside. So the cell wall will helps to give the equal pressure against that swollen cell. Okay, so it will withstand withstand without any greater changes in the surrounding medium. Okay, in case of animal cells also, but it will withstand the cells than animal cells in case of animal cells. Okay, that's all about the cell wall. Okay, next is nucleus. Okay, next is nucleus. Then what is nucleus? Yes, we want to say that according to the chemical composition, we can say that different types of cells are present, or different regions of cells have different portions. So when we are coloring or when we are giving stain to an part, we can see that it have different colors. Okay, different colors according to different regions. So some regions appear darker than other regions. Some regions will occur darker than other regions. So apart from iodine solution, okay, according to that, apart from iodine solution, we can use safranin solution or methylene solution to stain the cells. So what we can see? We can see a dark colored structure that is known as the nucleus. A dark colored structure that is known as the nucleus. Okay, so the nucleus contains, or nucleus is a double layered covering called double layered covering called nuclear membrane, and the nuclear membrane has pores. Okay, the nuclear membrane has pores, and it will help us to transfer material from inside to the nucleus. Okay, from inside the nucleus, or inside from the nucleus to the outside. So that's its performance. So to the cytoplasm, from that outside we will get into the cytoplasm. So that's taking place. So when we are saying about a nucleus, we want to say that the nucleus contains the chromosomes that we have already heard of. That means DNA, RNA, all those things can be seen inside the nucleus. So the nucleus contains chromosomes which are visible as rod-shaped structures. Okay, which are visible as rod-shaped structure only when the cell is about to divide. So the chromosomes contain information from for inheritance of features from parents to next generation in the form of DNA. That means deoxyribomolecule. So the chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. And so DNA molecules contain the information necessary for the constructing an organic cells. Functional fragments of DNA are called genes. Okay, the functional constructing or functional segments of DNA are called genes, that are also present in the nucleus. So the nucleus play a central role in what is the main function of the nucleus. That the main function of the nucleus is cellular reproduction. The main function of the nucleus is that the cellular reproduction. Okay, the main function is the cellular reproduction. So the process by which a single cell divides and forms two new cells. Okay, so in some organisms like bacteria, when we are saying about nucleus, we want to say that in some organisms like bacteria, what will happen? Nuclear region of the cell may be poorly defined, or it will not have any structure that's same to the nucleus. So the absence of nuclear membrane will be there. Okay, so the undefined nuclear region, to have some undefined nuclear region containing in any one of the nucleic acids. So it is known as it is called as the nucleoid. Such organisms which cells lacks a nuclear membrane are called prokaryotes. Okay. Such organisms whose lack a nuclear membrane are called prokaryotes. Pro means primitive or primary. Karyote means karyon, means nucleus. Okay. Okay. So organisms with cells having a nuclear membrane are called as eukaryotes. So that's about that. Which will not contain nuclear membrane is known as and which have these are known as the eukaryote. Okay, you get it. Okay, so we are getting to the next section. Okay, cytoplasm. Next is the cytoplasm. Yes, what is cytoplasm means? So, and it is a large area which each cell enclosed by the cell membrane. Okay, it is a large region of each cell enclosed by the cell membrane. So, the region takes up very little stain. So, that area will take a really little stain. So, it is called the cytoplasm. So, what is the function? What is happening in the cytoplasm? The cytoplasm is the fluid content inside the plasma membrane. Okay, the cytoplasm is the fluid content inside the plasma membrane. So it also contains many specialized cell organelles, and each of these organelles performs a specific functions for the cell. Okay, the cell organelles are enclosed by membranes in prokaryotes beside the absence of defined nuclear region. Okay, I think we get it. So that's about the cytoplasm. The significance of the membranes can be illustrated with the example of viruses. So viruses lacks in membrane, hence do not show characteristics of life until they enter a living world and use its cell machinery to multiply. Okay, I think you get it. So these all are about the fundamental of life. After that, we will get about get into the next section, that is cell organelles. What is meant by the cell organelles? So, what is meant by this cell organelles? So, as we say about cell, cell has a membrane. So around it will be a cell membrane which keeps it from the external environment. Okay, it will what is their function? To keep its own content separate from the external environment. So large and complex cells, including cells from multicellular organisms, need a lot of chemical activities. It means a lot of chemical activities to support their complicated structure. and functions. To keep these activities of different kinds separate from each other, these animals use separate from each other. These will use separate from each other structures. So that is called membrane bounded structures. That means organelles within themselves they have some structure. So this is one of the feature of the eukaryotic cells that distinguish them from prokaryotic cells. Okay, so some of the organs are visible only with an electron microscope, and different types of organelles that present in our body are what? Yeah, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids and vacuoles. Okay, so which all are the part? They are endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosome, mitochondria, plastids and vacuoles. Okay. Okay, so I think the different parts and organs that we have, that is endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids and vacuoles. Okay, so we will get into the revision of these sections tomorrow. I think you get it. Okay, I think you get it. So we will get into touch with these sections tomorrow. So I think you understand what all are happening in the fundamental unit of life. Okay, revision. So we will get into the next section with within yes, Wednesday we will finish. So you want to revise again, and we will take an examination for that with activities back. So I think you understand the chapter. Thank you for listening. Stay home, stay safe.